All right, welcome back to The Pursuit of Everything with Levi Wanger. I'm joined today with DJ Topeka, aka Angie.
Woo.
She's off screen today. She's having a bad hair day, so she didn't want to be seen by the public. And we got Cozi.
If I'm on screen, people are probably like, what does Andrew's hair look like?
Right, and look at that weave. Look at we're back in the podcast room. It's been a hot minute. We need a better room for the dungeon here. But I'm sure we'll come up with something cool.
Yeah.
The AKA Stogies with the Homies room. Today, I thought we would talk about one of my favorite subjects, and it's a complete thievery of Ed Milet's separation season. It hits home because there's 2 times a year that I consider separation season. The holidays being one of them, Thanksgiving to Christmas, and then August. Everybody's vacationing, everybody's kind of, winding down, trying to get kids back in school, that kind of stuff. So for me, it's one of my favorite times to put the pedal down, 2 open houses a weekend, following up everything.
Are you familiar with separation season? Do you know what it is?
A little bit, yes. But I just know about it around holidays, right? Because we talked about it last holiday season.
Right.
I didn't realize summertime, August was a.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's kind of coasting, right? Because you're getting your kid out of college. That's exciting, right?
Yeah.
But a lot.
Vacations.
Vacations, all of that kind of stuff. And we're in Montana, which drives me insane, where all of our subcontractors want to take all of hunting season off, and then they also want to take vacations in the summer. Boating, all of that.
Fishing.
Fishing. Yeah. So, and July is halfway through the year, right? And most people haven't stuck to their goals, right? This room, or even thought about it in the beginning, right? Because we talk about them quarterly, which we need to do again.
Yes.
For me, it's my favorite time because there's nothing that I like better than working when I know my competition's not.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of exciting, right?
Yeah.
Because that you're still out there doing what you're supposed to be doing, but the competition is going fishing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, because if you haven't even looked at your goals, so throughout this year so far, you're not going to pick them up at the back end of the year.
Right.
Right. September, October, November, you're just going to be
Might as well wait for
every good diet starts on me. And on a Monday. And on a Monday. So, that's why we like to talk about our goals at least quarterly, if not more, and keep pushing and going after them. So, Cozi, what are your things that you like to press the gas on this time of year?
Well, we do, and a lot of times, right, people will do customer appreciation parties around the holidays. So, which we do. We also do one in the summer, which is just something different.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And we just had ours, and it was fantastic.
Well, we have another one.
What's that?
We have another
We have another one coming up in Helen because we're in a couple different markets.
Mm-hmm.
So we've recently done a new construction class in Helen, Montana, which turned out to be a great move. And I think now, getting in contact with people and just getting in front of people, making sure that they know that you're still out there. The other thing that we've really pressed is our social media game. We hired a new social media director, and because at the beginning of the year, you see a bunch of realtors, builders, start posting on social media. It must be a goal or their New Year's resolution or some shit. And then they just fall off.
Right.
So we really want to press the gas.
So, okay, I don't know why this is just popping in my head, but when we talk about this kind of thing and separating ourselves and all that kind of stuff, it is almost like a lot of the competitions, business goals and stuff like that are like me when I would start a diet, right? You were saying, New Year's, that's when the diet starts.
Yeah.
And on Monday, I'm going to start my diet.
Right.
So I guess there's just, I just put that together. There's a lot of similarities with their professional goals and
It's the mindset,
personal.
right? Like the human race gravitates towards what's easier.
Uh-huh.
I hate posting on social media.
Yeah.
I just, what?
It's the worst.
I know.
But
I'm better at it than you, which is scary. Which is frightening. Because I hate it.
Yeah, it almost puts you out there in a way that you're not used to putting yourself out
I don't
there.
even care about that.
Oh.
I just hate the act of doing it. Yeah.
I understand that.
Separation season is like my favorite, right? Even when you brought it up today, I think I want to talk about separation season. I was like, oh my god, I love separation season. The hard thing is, like, summers are typically busy in real estate, right? This is like kind of a typical or busy time. What's different this year is with interest rates, it hasn't been traditionally busy. But since we haven't been traditionally busy, we've been busy pushing, getting more clients, getting more deals done, right? So we're like, that part feels like
We're
it's been a
prospecting.
push. Then now rates dropped a little bit. Phones are starting to ring.
Right.
It's like, and you bringing up separation season changed my mindset, because I even told Levi this morning, I think I'm going to be in a shitty mood today because I feel like nobody calls me just to be like, hey, how's it going? Everybody that calls me wants something from me, right? Where I'm like, but like I've been so busy just with like all of a sudden like stuff happening, but why am I mad about that? That's what I pushed all this time for.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've had a day off.
Right. And the key, and I think the lag comes from when it's not busy, because Cozi's right. Summertime's normally busy, spring, summer, but July is always dead, right? Because of the vacations and stuff like that. July is always dead. So then they quit even prospecting. And in our business, and mortgage, real estate, building, prospecting is by far the most important thing, right? Because like when I first started, I would sell a house and then I'd build a house. And then I'd be like, oh no, I don't have any business. So then I'd start prospecting again, right? Like, so you have to keep that prospecting going all year long. And that's the key, is when you're not busy maintaining those clients, you need to still be prospecting, even when you're coming up with empty swings, right? A swing and a miss, you got to still do your follow up. And stuff like that. That's where, and Cozi's right, that's where the customer appreciation piece.
Yeah.
The problem is the customer. Right? That it's not coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But then it's it will.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
It all kind of evens out at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely. And even in your fitness, right now is when we got to push, right? Because we've got end of the year goals.
Right.
So Levi's goal, one of them was to run a 10K.
Right?
Signed up.
I'm signed up.
Nice. Are you excited?
I'm ready. I'm not excited. Right. Running is not my jam.
Right.
But it's on my goals. I'm like 15 pounds away from my weight loss goal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll get there. But there's right. Down you got to put the pedal. And it's the dark place that I have to get to that my competition's not doing. Even getting in the stupid cold plunge, I have to be like, well, this builder's not doing that. This realtor's not doing that. Like, not that the cold plunge helps too with that stuff, but it just makes you mentally stronger.
Oh yeah.
Right? You have to push and put yourself to a dark, ugly place. I do anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The funny thing about the like mentally stronger part of it is we're going to kind of off our subject, but even since doing 75 carb, so now people have noticed the physical changes, right? To where now I have people being like, "Oh, I'm going to do this thing. It's it's called like 75 soft. It's only one workout a day.
Is that
it's a take a day?"
I think so.
But what's funny about it is everybody thinks you do it for the physical change, and then it makes everybody else want to do it for the physical change that happens from doing it. But really, I feel like I've benefited in so many other ways. Because even with the market being down, we're still doing okay.
Oh, no, we're doing
Oh, yeah.
We're growing. We're like,
Yeah.
And to where I did a lot of prep work for when it does kind of pop.
We're building a good team. We got a good squad. It's coming. It'll get there. And Angie's putting in a bunch of work for the mortgage business to be ready for that. And
Well, and Angie and I just went to Women in Business.
Yes.
Oh.
What we should talk about on here? What did you take from it?
Oh my gosh, I took so much from it. One of the big things that I was actually talking to Cozi about while we were there is I had imposter syndrome so bad sitting in that room the first day. I was like, this is crazy. I don't belong here. All of these women are like way more successful than I am. And, you know, I told myself all the things that we tell ourselves. But what's funny is maybe was it the next day, I think, somebody, one of the speakers said something how they have imposter syndrome all the time still.
I think it was the same day.
Was it the same day? Yeah. And I was like, well, that's weird that she's saying this right now.
No, we didn't say that.
But after they were explaining how they still have that and all of these things, it very much showed to me that I can do this and I belong there and I can do all of the things that they're doing. I mean, those women are
The
amazing.
same speaker said, if you have any questions after, I'll be hanging around, come up and ask me a question. She did it.
oh, wow.
After I told her, why? I told her.
The theme over here.
That works for me. Like it works for you.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's cool that when you put yourself in those rooms and then you see what the possibilities are.
Yeah.
Because there's some badass chicks.
Oh my gosh. They're amazing. Like Cody Sanchez, she's badass. The pharmaceutical chick.
So then what's funny is, so I got asked to be on that like planning task force for the city or whatever. And I told Angie after that, I was like, I had imposter syndrome in there. I'm in there with a bunch of engineers. And they called me and asked me to join this task force, and they're like, I'm a high school dropout. Like, what the fuck? But my one thing I talked about in there, they all were ready to go.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but you're not the only one with imposter syndrome.
Right. Which is like
We all have it.
yeah, and before you before I got in this world, and I think that is a problem with a lot of the younger people probably that are trying to break out into their own world and business that are actually hungry and want to do it, is they talk themselves out of it because of that imposter syndrome.
Absolutely.
I mean,
We still do it.
yeah.
Always, right? Like not making the follow-up calls, like not doing the, going to those events, not, taking that lunch, putting yourself in bigger rooms because we all fall into our comfort zones, right? Like hanging out in the crew is my comfort zone,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But I can only do it a couple of times a year because it doesn't get me to the places that I want, right?
Yeah.
Like it's fun to blow off some steam, but the problem is people do that every weekend, and then they end up there. Then they wonder why they're in the same place.
Yeah.
Back to separation season. What the one thing I like about it as well is because when you're chasing your competition, you're not going to catch them in the good markets. You have to catch them when they're slacking, right? Because we're all moving at the same pace in a good market. When you're trying to catch your competition and gain market space and more clients and everything, and you gain those in the downtimes where everybody else lets off the gas, you have to put the pedal down.
Yeah.
And a couple of ways that I do that is we step up our open houses, which are not my favorite things to do. But I did 2 last week. I'll do 2 this week. We'll just, you just got to keep punting. You got to get in front of more people. You got to make more phone calls. You got to take more calls. You just got to get in front of more people. And the only way to do that is to push yourself. Any other ways that you feel like you have to get out and push yourself?
I think, kind of jumping off of what you just talked about, that is probably one of my favorite parts, but not like in a good, like, oh, but everyone else is slacking, so I'm gonna go out and whatever. Mine's like a dog thing.
Right.
Oh.
Right?
Mhm.
Like in my head, I'm like, everyone else is taking it off. I
Right.
get that.
Mhm.
My favorite is the real golf
Oh,
tournament. Right?
So what?
right.
The real golf.
Yeah.
They're all out golfing, and I'm working.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else did you take from the women in business?
So
We never
Same-
did sit down and
I know.
debrief. Yeah.
I know. Same type of like stuff that we talk about a lot, really. I mean, it's the follow up. You have to not just sell yourself, but the product that you're selling has to be
The best.
the best. If you're starting to have issues with return and then repeat clients, it's a product that's not.
That was the big one I took.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Right? It was like,
Mm-hmm.
you need to look at if you're not right, if you're not getting repeat clients or they're not raving about you, like
Right.
it's not a them problem, it's like you have a product problem and you need to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another thing that I kind of took out of this is, women, we're emotional people, right? We tend to make decisions with our emotions first before like straight thinking, right?
Mhm.
And I think a lot of those women completely take the emotion out of it, that they're passionate about what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like they're passionate about their product. You've got to be passionate and want it. Is another
All
thing,
the time.
too. All the time.
Right? Not
Yep.
just in January and February.
Yeah. And they were very much also saying, your mental and physical well-being has also something to do with you being successful in business and all those kinds of things. It's a package.
100%.
And
I feel like a lot of the like conference type of things don't talk about that.
You're
part,
exactly
but they
right.
do there.
Yep.
Everybody there like works. Everybody there,
Mm-hmm.
sort of like a lot like if you go to real estate conferences, they're all getting drunk at night.
Yeah, right.
And whatever. Like these conferences, you can't get in the gym in the morning.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
you got to go at like 4:45.
Yeah.
It's packed.
Which is cool. I mean, it's cool to see
Oh, for sure.
a bunch of women together like that. It's just cool.
And the other thing that like I take from those things is that if that person can do it, there's no reason I can't do it.
Yes.
Right? Like they're not that much different than me, right? Like
Yeah.
hanging out with, guys that are billionaires, you realize that they're not that different than you. They've just been doing the right things over and over and over and over again longer.
So does this happen at the RTA ones? Because the other thing that's probably one of my favorite part of the women in business is that a lot of the speakers will like then sit in the audience,
Yeah. It depends on which ones it is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which is it's super cool.
Yeah.
She actually has been like we've been messaging back and forth on Instagram.
Yeah.
Made her go talk to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, and a lot of those speakers, they get paid a little bit. They don't get paid
Right.
as much as you think. They do it because they want to give back.
Yeah.
And they want, to see other people grow, especially women,
Mm-hmm.
helping other women.
Oh,
I think, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That Sid is her name, and she. Another thing about it is like she's just real. She's not like she might be very successful and make all this money, but she's not like. I shouldn't have been intimidated to go up and talk to her because she was like the nicest person in the world.
Right.
And she even like sent an email out. I don't know if you saw it, but she was like to everybody that went, and she was like, well, I got to meet, I think she said 70 of you face to face and have conversations. And she's like, I took notes on everyone and I've done all this. And she's like,
Yeah.
so reach out if you have questions. I mean, they're just real.
That's super.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Last year, social media part. Last year, I sat next to I think her name was like Eva Marie or something. She's a professional wrestler,
Oh,
and then like now a business owner. And she sat next to me during the conference, and then we had to do like a group thing. And she was like, "Why aren't you posting on social media?" And I was like, "Because I feel stupid." And she was like, "I feel stupid every single time." And she was like, "And that's my job."
Right. She's in tights jumping around a ring.
I was like,
Yeah. Once you get past the feeling stupid part, which never does,
"Well, that's what I took from it."
Right.
feel stupid.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the cheapest attention that you can get. And right now, attention's what sells,
Right.
right? If,
Yes.
you know, if someone doesn't know that you sell mortgages, they're not going to call you to buy a mortgage.
Right.
Right.
And they're getting their information from social media.
Right.
So have you implemented anything that you've taken from it?
I feel a lot more confident on posting my videos, my weekly video, right? That's anymore.
Did it
I'm just
help
like,
your imposter syndrome, like talking to real estate agents or talking
Yes.
to?
it did. The only thing I'm struggling with right now with like the real estate agents is getting to the point where I've reached out so much and they're just ghosting me. Like, and
they're
taking
not
it personal.
Right.
Well, don't take it personal. It's the same thing with clients, right? So
Yeah.
I was our client appreciation party. Everybody gets invited.
Yeah.
99% of them don't respond.
Right.
They never come to anything. They don't respond to anything,
Uh-huh.
right? But when they're ready to sell a house, they call me.
Yeah.
Same thing with following up with leads. I training new agents before. I've said like just keep following up, and they'll ask like, "Well, how long do I do it?" And I can tell you stop contacting me.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Till then, you just
Mhm.
it'll happen eventually.
So it's the same thing with real estate agents.
Absolutely. Yeah. And most of them are sucking butt right now, just
Right.
hanging out. Right. That's why it's separation season.
Yeah.
Right. Like everything in your life has to. What's that? Right. Everything else right now has to be foot on the gas, 100 miles an hour. Which brings me to my next point that I wanted to talk about is we all have to be moving with more of a sense of urgency. Cozi and I talked about this today because sometimes we make it look too easy in our office, and then the rest of the office coast, and I'm not singling you out.
Oh, you can. You totally can. It's okay.
Just one. We got a really good example. So talk about the foundation group here.
Oh, so I went to high school, still a good friend of mine. He does all our foundations, and he's a 48-year-old man, and they don't have cranes that go lift their forms into the ground. They still pack them old school, and he's out there running with the forms. And I'm like, Brandon, you're 48 years old. Why are you out here running with these things? He's like, if I don't do it, then my crew doesn't think they should do it.
Uh-huh.
Right. And so every employee that we've ever had thinks that they can coast because like they see us kind of coasting, but they don't realize that we work 7 days a week, like, 20 hours a day. So
Like that's the hard part too, right? Like I'll make a hair appointment on Wednesday at 10 a.m. But that's because when I work all week, right? I can't go Saturday morning because I'm working.
Right.
Well, but then it's like everybody will start doing it. Everybody will start making appointments in the middle of the day,
Right.
the week, because they see us do it. But then they'll be like, yeah, I thought I'd come in Monday to a couple contracts. Well,
Right.
they don't magically appear. It's because we're working.
Uh-huh. Well, even when you do make those appointments where you go get your hair done at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday, you're working while you're getting your hair done. Yeah, no, you're still, because I'm still getting texts and emails and all of the things. You're still, I mean, you guys when you're an employee.
And you're like, oh shit, Levi.
Oh, God.
Again.
A lot. I mean, but it usually happens. I at least have a couple every weekend for me. I mean, I guess you guys do make it look easy, but at the same time, I see that you work all the time.
Right.
Right. The other thing that's weird about it is we talked about this morning too. When I was an employee, I never was like, well, my boss is like working right now.
But
Right.
no.
Right? Like, I don't know if it's just like the size of the business start. I don't know if it's my terrible leadership skills that I'm working on.
It's terrible.
It's the printer. No, they are hard, right? But because I'm playing in golf tournaments and all of this other stuff.
You're doing that to grow your business.
I'm also out there with people I need to grow my business with
Yes.
most of the time.
Yes.
But It's just that we just need that. We all need to move with a little more sense of urgency, right? Like quit procrastinating things, quit making it, just goofing off, that kind of stuff. We just gotta keep fighting.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to make it look easy, right? I don't know. The other thing I feel like this might be like just helping me with my leadership stuff is what we're going to be doing right now.
Right. At least someone's getting
Right. Right. I feel like something I struggle with is I always end up being like the friendly one.
right.
But it's almost like we have to have that yin and yang.
Good cop, bad
Good
cop.
cop, bad cop. Yes.
Back off.
You do bad cop, bad cop.
And that's the other thing. I care.
Yeah.
Right? I care what I care like whatever.
Yeah.
That's my one girl part.
That's it, just the one.
Right.
Why? Because we just talked about yesterday, and I was saying that I think I need to be softer. And Levi was like, "No."
I agree with you on that. I don't think she needs to be softer.
I got no room for stuff.
I don't think she needs to be softer either.
Like, it's the part that how you can be kind of tough sometimes. It actually helps me. Like
Maybe you're
maybe I am a weirdo. Maybe it's because I don't take it like personally. I know.
Including your husband.
also struggle with though even having to. They don't even have to be a hard conversation, but having to have the conversation of like, "Hey, this is where I need you to pick up," or
Mhm.
"This is right." Like, because a lot of times, like I know it's me not training.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Instead of having the conversation and training, it's just easier for you to do it because you want to move faster,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not because you're not capable of doing it. It's just you just want it done and done the way you want it done. So it's just easier for you to do it.
Yes.
But then our people never get trained.
Right. We're also not really in an industry though where I can be like, okay, I'm gonna hold off until I can train on this. Like I gotta get it done.
Right.
Plus a deadline.
Right. But then I guess I could go back later
Mhm.
and be like, hey, this is what happened. This is right. I had to pull over on the side of the highway. That's what's happening.
Okay. Yeah.
And get my computer out.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But all in all, I think separation season is fantastic for people that actually do it because you do gain ground,
Mm-hmm.
right? I feel like we're making progress. And just this last week, where if we weren't pushing as hard as we're pushing, it wouldn't be right. Like I was on the golf course, and Cozi's like, "Hey, someone wants to look at a house at 5, and then 5:30, 2 different people, and we got both of them under contract this week, right? Like that's Friday at 5:30,
Right.
when everybody else is at home with their families,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not.
Cut your fucking golf game.
I had to cut my golf. And I was playing well. And
She did it.
Well, like,
Right.
because I was in hell.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think the separation season. So let me ask you this: are there any other like realtors, builders in Billings? Do you guys think like you do?
You don't.
No.
There might be some.
Maybe some.
Maybe a couple.
That's just my ego talk.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, if you think about it like this, Billings has a ton of real estate agents.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I think that's everywhere though.
Oh, is it?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
What do we have? 130,000 people here and 1,500 agents. I think that's
I think
pretty.
it's about 10% of the population is pretty standard.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The thing is, like, in
Crazy.
Helen, there's what, 30,000 people there, and there's like 400 or 500
Yeah.
there.
Dude, that seems like a lot.
Yeah. But like 10% of the agents do all
All
the
the
business.
business. So those 10% are probably not doing to the extent that you guys do, but some.
Thinking like that?
Right. Yeah, there might be some, but not a lot of them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So,
The ones that are always amazing to me are the older with,
Oh, yeah.
right, that are 70 years old,
They're smashing.
Uh-huh.
on vacation, right? Like they'll be like, oh, I'm backpacking in the Alps.
Oh, yeah.
Can you do this for me?
Right.
And then roll back and down and just eat around
Yeah.
10 deals.
Wow.
You want to go to the Alps?
Why wouldn't that's not on my list?
So I just think that it's just another marker for me to remind me to keep it going,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it got off of 75 hard, like right at the beginning of July, and some big golf tournaments and trips, and then it's just a reminder to get right back on it, right?
Mhm.
Like, don't lose the momentum that you had, you
Right.
know. Take your little break, have your fun, but then you gotta get the gas pedal down as
Mhm.
fast as possible.
What's funny, mostly for you, is I think it's just like a man, right? Like Levi has his like high school crew that we obviously all know they just want to like go party.
Mhm.
But then on the flip side, he has like his like business friends. We're the same way. They still want to like go have cocktails
Right,
and go whatever.
right. There could be a business meeting over cocktails 3 or 4 nights a week.
Oh, I
Right,
bet.
if I love it.
Yeah.
Easy.
They just can shut it off.
They can shut it off. Right. I don't have the off switch.
Right.
Yeah, but we're like women don't really do that.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
We meet for yoga
Right.
for
Right.
breakfast.
Or coffee.
You need more breakfast. Brunches.
Brunch.
Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
All of my like business women kind of friends, that's what we do. We like we prepare workouts and
Yeah.
which that'll be like, hey, we want to go,
Yeah.
your friends don't meet you for weird workouts.
Cool. But he's a chick too, so he's
Yeah.
he's my travel wife. That's for sure. We need it. Chick the village.
When he didn't make the last trip, there was no breakfast, there was no snack.
There was water. There was rehydrate and
Yeah.
I mean, that's the importance.
energy drink. Yeah.
Those are the important ones.
No, as I was shopping with him, I was like, do you want to get snacks? We're here. And he's like, no.
And then the next morning I was like, I wish I had.
No.
Being like, Rola's here, we don't have breakfast.
He does make a fantastic breakfast.
Casserol's amazing.
Yeah.
For people.
We ate once a day.
Oh, shit.
So now are you back on separation season? When are you starting your next 30 days?
I'm gonna start it after the 10K.
Why after the 10K?
I just got some stuff going on that I'm gonna start it after the 10K.
Mm.
Like mid-September. The way my life lays out.
Nice.
Yeah.
How's the 10K prep going?
Not well.
I could
Been practicing it all.
No.
I haven't either.
I've been running.
I'm signed up for marathon. I might drop down to the 10K because I'm not.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm running, but I'm not doing anything special. I'll power through it.
What's the farthest you ran at this point?
5.
Oh, so one more's not really anything.
1 more K?
Yeah, one more mile. That's all.
From a 5 to a 10?
Oh, I thought you meant.
Oh.
Mm.
We're in the 5K twice.
It's like,
No, not like in a row.
110.
Yeah, not in a row. Yeah, no. But I've got a month.
Here's the dirty part of both of us is with a couple of other guys are running the 10K, and I'm like, you gotta fucking beat this guy.
Oh,
Well, so what's funny is when I ran America, I did pick someone that I wanted to be. And I told our older sister's a huge runner, so I was like, hey, I'd like pick someone I want to be, you know? But so then I just saw her running friends, and they were running a marathon the next day. So I was asking all of them, do you guys pick someone?
Right.
And they were like, no. And she was like, no. I know she. You just can't say it in front of people.
For sure.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
For sure.
Well, and I feel like that would motivate you. Like while you're running, keep your eyes on that person and make sure they're behind you.
Yeah.
That'd motivate me.
Well, it's the same thing in business, right? You gotta pick a target.
You always have to have a target.
Separation season helps you get to those targets.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's all I got today, girls. I thought it was a good one. Let's just keep pushing. You can find me at just Levi Warner at Instagram now, and we're the Pursuit of Everything on YouTube. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time. Deuces.
Peace out.
Hi, this